I remember when I was a child, I was 7 years old, I was with my cousins, and we had a discussion, a bunch of little kids, where did God come from? And we really didn't understand where God came from. It didn't make sense to us. I thought maybe he came from another planet, that he had been Jesus on I didn't understand. Well, that question doesn't work because God never came from anywhere. God did not come into being at any point because he has always been. God has always been. There was never a beginning point for God. All of us have a beginning point. When we were conceived, a point when we were born. God has none of that because God has always existed. God is eternal. Hi, I'm Dave Early. Thanks for joining us. We're doing daily discipleship today. We're talking theology, study of God, and today we're talking about the fact that God is eternal. Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, somebody was already there, God. God was already there in the beginning. God exists before time. God exists outside the realm of space and time. God is exactly today as he has always been. He's not any older. He's not any different. There was never a point when he was younger. God has always been the same. He's always God. He's never been measured. He hasn't aged. He is eternal, ageless. He lives and exists outside the realm of space and time. Creation began time. Something in this universe was created. At the moment something finite was created that could be measured, it began to be measured in length of time. Yet, time measures age. God can't be measured because God's infinite. You can't measure God. He's infinite in every way. Strength, wisdom, knowledge, presence, age. God is infinite in time. He exists outside the realm of time. Now, if we were to take the point of creation and run it off on a never-ending line, it would go into eternity. That would never end. But you got to understand, God would not be on that line. God existed before that line, beyond that line. When God looks at us, like, for example, a parade. You look at a parade, we look at a parade of people passing by, and we see one thing at a time. God is above us, beyond us. He looks at the parade. He sees the whole thing at the same time, all at once. It kind of blows your mind, but God is eternal. He exists outside the realm of space and time. Way back, 3,500 years ago, Moses said, "The eternal God is our refuge. Underneath are his everlasting arms." He was understanding God is eternal. God has always existed. Psalm 102. David said, "Endure forever. You endure forever. You endure to all generations." God is eternal. Moses wrote Psalm 90, and he says, "You endure to all generations, from everlasting to everlasting. You are God." He says in Psalm 90, verse 4, "With you, God, 1,000 years is like one day." It's all the same. It's all one never-ending present. God's not like in a hurry. He's not late. He's not looking at his watch. God is beyond. It's all a never-ending present. He's beyond the realm of space and time. Psalm 91, verse 1 and 2. Because of God's eternality, Moses said, "We can rest in the shadow of the Almighty. He is my refuge. He is my fortress. It is in him that I trust." You can trust in God because God's been there. He knows what's going on. He knows what's going to happen. God knows the past perfectly. He understands everything about the past. He knows everything about the present right now. And he knows what's going to happen in the future because he's already in the future. Psalm 90, verse 3, 5, and 6. It's talking about the fact that even though God is eternal, we are mortal. Humans, we don't last forever. He says, you guys say to each other, return to the dust, you mortals. That's where we're not going to last forever. In a few years, you won't be here anymore. Your life on this earth will have ended. Psalm 90, verse 10. You're going to live 70, maybe 80 years, and then your life is going to pass, he says. It's going to pass quickly. It's going to be like a flower that blooms one day and is gone the next. We have a brief life. God is eternal. When I think of that, I think of this prayer that Moses prayed at the beginning of Psalm 90. He said, teach us to number our days. Okay, we've only got so many days. Help us use them wisely. Help us use them well. I want to remind you, the decisions I make today, the decisions you make today will determine where you're going to spend eternity and will determine how you will spend eternity. Don't build your treasures on earth. It's not going to last. Lay up your treasures in heaven. Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. Live for the things that are eternal because God is eternal and that's what's going to last forever. This is Daily Discipleship. Thank you for joining us. If you don't already, follow us on Facebook or subscribe to our YouTube channel. God has been there and God will be there. You can trust God. God is eternal. God bless you.